A long journey that brought two lives together. Men who had never met but shared much in common. A love of the outdoors, hunting, and both struggled with their inner demons. In 2006, 2 days before Christmas, Andy Sandness tried to kill himself. He pulled the trigger and knew instantly he'd made a mistake, pleading with first responders to save him.
Imagine not having a face, not having a nose, not having parts of your cheek, your mouth barely functions.
The 21-year-old woke up in the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. Dr. Samir Mardini said he could help, but the plastic surgeon promised no miracles. 8 surgeries later, Sandness was able to go home, but he had a prosthetic nose that kept falling off, and his mouth was the size of a quarter.
And you just avoid looking at little kids who are afraid you're going to scare them, stuff like that. It hurts.
He found solace in hunting and kept mostly to himself. Years later, a call gave Sandness something that had been missing: hope. His doctor said he was being considered for a face transplant.
That was the happiest day of my life.
But that happiness would be tied to another family's tragedy.
Well, he was my high school sweetheart.
Kalen Ross and his wife Lily were expecting their first child together. But like Sandness 10 years earlier, Ross had made a decision to end his life. He fatally shot himself last June at the age of 21. Ross was listed as an organ donor. The donor organization LifeSource asked his wife to consider something else: his face. She was worried the recipient would resemble her husband, but was reassured he wouldn't.
The reason I decided to go ahead and go through with it was so that I can later down the road show Leonard what his dad had done to help somebody.
That somebody turned out to be Sandness, a perfect match. 3 years before Ross's death, Dr. Mardini and the Mayo team began practicing for the hospital's first face transplant, done only a few dozen times in the world. Doctors also had to make sure Sandness was the right candidate. His suicide attempt one of the considerations.
I don't think there's anybody who does not deserve a second chance. It's just a matter of whether you feel the patient has reached a point where they realize where they've made a mistake.
Good morning.
The call came in June 2016. For 56 hours, Mardini and a team of about 60 carefully removed Ross's face, bones, nose, lips, even his teeth, and grafted them onto Sandness.
It's just a miracle that we were able to offer this gift to Andrew.
It would be 3 more weeks before Sandness, surrounded by family, was allowed to look in a mirror. Unable to speak, he scribbled a few words.
Far exceeded my expectations. You don't know how happy that makes us feel.
Pie.
I like peach pie.
After months of speech and physical therapy,
And then let's have you open again and we're going to slide you to the right.
Sandness no longer dreads looking in a mirror.
That my mind and body has finally accepted my new changes.
But he has to take anti-rejection drugs for the rest of his life. Recently, he got a letter from Ross's family so he could know more about the young man who gave him a second chance. He wrote back,
I said he's still going to continue to love hunting, fishing, and dogs. Through me.
no longer haunted by his past.
I can go out and I feel 100% normal.
Andy Sandness is able to look forward to his future. Jeannie Ohm, Associated Press.